Hello. 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 I'm muted. Is that better? That's got to be better because now I have a microphone plugged in. So tell me if that fixed it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You missed the Nirvana. You missed really nothing because it just started. So hello everyone. Yeah, I was saying Sunday is quite an interesting day because we have Easter and April Fool's Day, and then of course something else going to happen on Sunday. I can't think of what it. Oh yeah, I'm going to launch the Patreon on Sunday. So everybody who's on the wait list who said, yeah, I'm down with some memberships, I will be emailing you probably Sunday once that Patreon is live. Could be Saturday night. I don't know. I got to figure it out. But I'm gonna send out the invites. I have everybody's name. I have membership tier selections, and it'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah. So again, the first book is The Store by Bentley Little. So if you guys are interested in that, because my plan is to have it right to get the book, and then set the date for a Zoom call so we can sit around and talk about the book. Like, what the hell was that book? What happened? Can you believe that book was that book? So that's what it'll be like. So, and I anticipate being very angry on that Zoom call. Let's see what we got. Magic Duck Bucket. Patreon, yes. Pizza Giraffe, good to see you. Just in time, Christopher. Oh, well, yeah, the ads are going to roll. April Fool's is soon. Yeah, real soon. Yes. So the Magic Duck Bucket's giving me a Coca-Cola. This is with sugar in it. This is with the sugar. Because that's the way to have it. This takes me back to when I was like 10 years old in Oak Lawn, Illinois, 4th of July, waiting for the cops to take away my uncle's fireworks. And they never did until that very last year. Guys, since April Fool's is on a Monday, we should pretend that Jeff is muted. We see him at work, and you're going to kill me with the Duff Bucket. Wait, what? No beer? No beer. So, see, I'm looking out for you. Hey, Mark, good to see you. You got 50 pages. Oh, I've got 50 pages in on the blade to go on the blade itself. How is that? Because Curious King, I didn't put them on the list. I didn't put them on the agenda. Curious King is doing the next book in the First Law trilogy tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? Am I right? And now Pizza Draft has me second guessing what Sunday is. Monday is yes. Dumbass. I miscalculated. Easter Sunday. Monday I'm launching the Patreon. Holy cow. But the emails will probably go out Sunday anyway. I'm off a day. I'm telling you, that's why I couldn't go live yesterday. Yesterday was a very special day for my family. We have a personal family holiday on March 25th every year. And so I miscalculated last week. I'm off by a day. It's like a day. It's like just one little day. And so, yeah, Monday is April Fool's Day. I'm liking it. Well, that's not loving it. April Fool's will be my 9th anniversary at my job. I'm not sure if the joke's on me or my boss. I remember a 9th anniversary at a job. Yeah. Well, congratulations on making it 9 years through some really horrible times. 9 years. So that was 2015 then. Some tumultuous years in there. Yeah, some rough roads. For me, too. I was a blogger in 2015. I was a blogger. I was recently going down the rabbit hole. Oh, yeah. You know why? Because of this book I talked about. This is a book that I actually have a published story in. And I'm like, oh my God, Kevin bought it. He bought it and he shared it on the Jeff Word. So I got it out. I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad just flashing this. And then he bought it and he's like, I'm bringing it to Tulsa. I'm like, I'll sign it. You know, I'm happy to do that. And then I reread the story. I'm like, it's actually pretty good. I actually liked it. It could have used an editor's hand. It could have used somebody to go in there and it's called The Cure for Parenthood, and streamline it and make it a little more focused. It does meander a bit. Duh, right? And I think an editor could have said, hey, no, it's great stuff, but you need to kind of maybe structure some things, maybe make a few transitions, or at least emphasize your point a little clearer in your thesis. But it was still fun to read. And of course, I had many years between writing it and reading it to kind of like, hey, it's actually not, it's kind of fun. But I did feel horrible. But anyway, it caused me to go on a rabbit hole and to say, hey, how are all those bloggers doing that used to blog with me? Because I went to this convention called Blog U in Baltimore. I actually was going to go to the Cemetery Dance office. But that's when I wanted to shake their hand and not shake them, you know. Just their hand, not like their whole body until their retinas detach. You know, I just wanted to shake their hand and say, you're doing a fantastic job. I can't imagine a future where you will suck so bad I will root for your downfall, dick. Nope. At that point, I'm like, man, I love your books. I'm not really rooting for his downfall. That's a hyperbolic statement. I'm rooting for him to make amends and not be a dick. That's what I'm rooting for. I've had exposure to Dick Chiz, you know, and because he's also involved in the Dead Headspace podcast that was in my newsletter, and I really wanted to talk about it last night because I think there are some very important points. Nobody's doing well with this cancel culture. Like, it's not helping anybody. If you think you're helping victims, you're not. You're creating victims. You're creating people who are just going to do the turtle and curl up when things get rough. And just, I don't want to hear it. Like, you're not turning people into self-sufficient, self-governed human beings. You're turning them into little babies who just want to be cuddled and coddled. That's all they want. They can't face down adversity. And they demand and they throw a tantrum if you don't give them what they want immediately. They're children. You're turning people, whole generations are being turned into children. We need to get some steel in your spine, people. I'm going to get into it, but we're going to walk through it. What is the plot? Maybe last 50 pages will tie it up. Yes, tomorrow for Curious King. Yes, I cannot wait. March 25th is Greek Independence Day. I didn't know that. Do you say Opa? Is that just a racial stereotype? I don't know. I don't know if I'm being bad now, but Opa! They used to say that when they'd come out and your food was still on fire in Greektown. You go to the Greek Islands restaurant, as producer Jill says. She says restaurant. She does. It's true. True story. That's not something I can write. There are some things video is good for. And saying my wife says it restaurant, I don't even know how I would pronounce that. But you get to hear it. So that's awesome. We should have gone to Greektown. Oh, wait, we don't live there anymore. Tumultuous years, including 2 years of court on Zoom. Oh, my God. Oh, you work in the courts? Wow, that had to be crazy. I agree with your rant in the newsletter. Thank you. Because I'm not, see, here's the thing. I'm not picking sides. It's the issue I have a problem with. The overall issue. Because in the U.S., I guess I'm just brainwashed into believing you're innocent until proven guilty. That's crazy. I know it's radical to say that people who are accused of these horrible things, if you're going to drag it out into the daylight and tell everybody that this person is a threat, you need to back that shit up, or don't drag it out. Or just say, privately, hey, Joe, Keith, love you guys, but I have to pull my story out. I cannot participate in this because I found that this guy's problematic. But they dragged it out and they made these big virtuous statements. Oh, aren't we the saviors? Look at us. Look how noble we are. And it's not, because now you have made it my business. Now I want to know, how bad is this guy? No, I'll tell you in private chats. If you want to know, I will DM you, and we're going to whisper. It's a whisper campaign. Because Joe Lansdale, I mean, we can get into it. We need to get into this. Opa is politically correct. Okay, hold on a second. I loved your news. Thank you, Mark. Exposure to dick shiz. People can't even interact in person too. I know that, when I worked as in marketing for higher ed institutions, the universities would say that nowadays, this was like back in 2014, 2012 even, they were saying that students would get into arguments and text, and they'd be roommates. So like and trust me, colleges now are resorts. They're not dorm rooms where you have a cot, a desk, and the bare minimum to do your schoolwork. They're resorts. They have indoor volleyball courts. It's this arms race to recruit students that create resort-like atmospheres. Do you have my preferred lunch menu item? Because if you don't, I'm going to make a petition and you're going to have to make whatever it is that I'm partial to. So they treat it like they're at a resort. Anyway, these kids, these young adults would be in a suite and they'd be in their own rooms, because now dorm rooms you each have your own little quarters and then you have a common space. So they would argue back and forth via text. Then they go into the common space and they wouldn't even talk to each other because they didn't have the skills to interact with other people and discuss their ideas face to face. And it's worse than that, because you get people arguing, and then when they see each other, they start shooting each other. Nobody can do conflict resolution anymore. Nobody debates the ideas, and that's what I'm talking about. The more you just stick your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 I don't want to hear you, the less adult and more of a victim you will always be. Because you need to stand up and talk about these things. And again, if Patrick McDonough is this predator who is in jail, who should go to jail, then let's work on that. Let's talk about why this guy has escaped justice for horrible crimes. That is a problem. I am a husband, a son, a father to a daughter. Like, these are all things that make me invested in protecting women, for sure. Selfishly. Like, I don't want, so if this guy is an animal, we need to address it. But no. And then Joe Lansdale, when he was pushing, he's like, you don't have any effing proof. Every time I ask for proof, I get these polite texts from Patrick that don't prove anything. And here's the thing. The one thing I wanted to include in my newsletter that I didn't. I talk about this, yes, you did, no, I didn't, round and round, where you don't know who to believe. Val came out and said he had a restraining order against him, right? I don't know to believe that. I have no proof. And then he said, I never had a restraining order against me. All right. Those statements are equally believable. I didn't. Obviously, the one guy has a vested interest in saying he didn't have a restraining order against him. Seems to me it's a provable thing. And the other person, I don't know what their motives are. Maybe they genuinely are trying to protect somebody, but they're not. You're not believable. You just can't do this shit. I'm a court reporter. Oh, yes, you did mention that. Yes. Maybe have a Fracassi Freak Festival in Greece. Can we do that, Mitch? Yeah, that newsletter was very good reading and the correct point of view. What happened is so, and I'm gonna walk through it too. We need to make Fracassi Fest Freaks a business so I can write off those travel expenses. I got to have you moved on the Face in the Crowd Artist Edition. Every time I get a shipping notification from them, I'm surprised. Maybe there is hope for the stand. I hope so. like I said, I was looking at Dead Headspace. This is the podcast that Patrick McDonough is on. I wanted to go there and look at the guy. I did hear chatter about him before being a jerk. I don't remember being a jerk as a crime. I've had many, 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 many bosses who were completely abusive assholes, but not in a criminal way. They were just jagoffs. And you had to deal with them, and you're like, oh my God, you're just an asshole. And you worked around them, and you did your job, and you hoped someday you could be a benevolent boss. And that's what the rat race is. You got some jerk ahead of you who gloats and uses their power, and they abuse their power, and you have to, yeah, what do you need? And then sometimes the dam breaks and you let them have it. But I don't ever remember that being illegal. And I always look to people to develop the skills to deal with their problems instead of just crying about it. Are you teaching people that? Anyway, so I went on the Dead Headspace thing, and I saw Richard Chismar appeared on it, and I'm like, wow. And again, Patrick McDonough strikes me as a jerk. I look at him, I'm like, you remind me of someone who is abrasive. That should not get you behind bars in any. You should be able to still eat. Because people will look at me and go, you're a jerk. God, you're so loud. You're so annoying. Does that mean I don't deserve a meal? Again, it's a crazy world, man. Hey, Saucepot's here. Good to see you, Sean. Hey there. What's up, Phil? Good to see you. Yeah, so I can't wait. I think the stand will come. That's what's sad nowadays. All it takes is one idiot, and I could ruin your reputation without any proof. Mark from Soft White Underbelly. I didn't even know about that. Do I need to be angry about that now? I got to look into that. Just look what happened last week to Mark from Soft White. Oh, my God. It's very true. I had a recent roommate for a summer session at UT. The guy wanted to text me instead of talk when something was wrong. Very odd. People just don't do it. And then when they do finally see each other, they're so angry and upset that they leapfrog. That's the same thing with dating. people when they go to these dating apps, they did a study on this. That people are jumping into relationships a lot faster because they've done all the connecting on an app before they even see the person. So the dating timeline has shrunk because people are now speed tracking this sort of getting to know each other stuff. There are downsides. I mean, there's many, many downsides to that. Like, you're not going to notice red flags. You maybe are going to see somebody's best version of themselves because it's a very sterile, sort of isolated. Like, you could have just screamed at the waiter for spilling your drink and then texted whoever you're thinking about dating, telling her, hey, yeah, I'm having a great day. How are you? And you're very pleasant. She doesn't know you're a jagoff who just yelled at the waiter. You could be a bastard. So there are things that it covers up and smooths over, and people are not having those organic, naturally growing, occurring relationships. But very much the same thing. People, I saw it in Chicago. They were like, hey, they exchanged words online, and then they grabbed their guns and they headed out and they shot each other to death. And they also took a few innocent people with them because they were so angry. Words online. It'd be like Dick Chiz knocking on my door and just gunning me down while I'm alive. Would make for good content. I'm just saying, like, it would. A Twitter beef. Well, I'm dating myself. Nobody has a Twitter beef anymore. Yo, Sauce. Yeah, that's good. I'm so glad you're here early morning. Yeah, I had another rant lined up. If you say you have a restraining order, maybe post it publicly and have it support your statements of such importance. So here's the thing. Okay, so yes, some people might not want their personal laundry, dirty laundry aired out, right? Maybe the person who got the restraining order is super pissed at that person for saying that this guy has a restraining order against him because they're like, it was a bad time in my life. I don't even want to go back there, and I don't want to relitigate this, and I've moved on. And again, there's a difference between a bad guy and a guy having a bad day who may have, again, not forgiving anything that would lead to a restraining order, but maybe he blew up, scared the person, they overreacted and got a restraining order, and now it's an ugly situation that they've since amended and have moved on from. You don't know. But right, if you're an accuser in this country, you have every right to see the evidence you're being accused of in a court of law. Now, that's where social media falls outside the realm of the Constitution because it is a private entity. It's not legally bound. It's not like you're dragging the person into court and they have an injunction against them. They are just citizens, and this other person's saying a thing, and it's all hearsay, and it's not legally binding. But the consequences are so devastating, and they're not governed by the same rules of some actually devastating verdicts. So these people are tried in the court of public opinion without evidence, without facing their accusers, and without a proper defense. You get Joe Lansdale, who boils over. I don't know if I agree with how he handled it as an editor, as a guy with his own brand. He did go after that person. He boiled over. He should have been more restrained. And you know what? Let me share that. Because this. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Bear with me for 1 second. Hold on. I got to pull it up. All right. You're not going to see it. And there you go. Okay. All right. So this is the newsletter. I'm sure you've all seen it. But I posted the pertinent parts of the Kickstarter and then Francois posted that. But when I scroll down, the part I'm talking about here. So again, Patrick McDonough is saying all these things to defend his reputation. I don't believe them any more than I believe the accusations. But the problem is he's guilty until proven innocent, which is completely backwards. And then so Lansdale, here, where's your effing proof? You run your mouth about it, but never offer anything to suggest it's true. What is true? What is the true mission you're on? You're on. I think he does voice to text. When we ask for proof, it's some polite screenshot of Pat's comments. So when these editors are saying you're fucking with my, pardon my French, you're messing with my business, you're coming after my livelihood, I need more to go on. This is now a legal business decision, not just like a schoolyard dispute. So I need to know what I need to do for my business to adjust. And really, like, do they take Patrick McDonough to court for lost revenue because he misrepresented himself? Do they get a lawyer to go after all this slander because they're losing money? They had this Kickstarter planned, and I don't know how much they possibly could have had sunk into it already. I don't know how that works. Kickstarter is a crowd-funded thing, so perhaps they don't have any money lost, but they have potential of revenue lost. They also have damage to their reputations from this. They're now attached to this guy. So they're like, hey, if I'm going to be handcuffed to this guy, you're telling me he's a rabid predator. I need to know because now I've attached my fate to him. And these people don't give proof. They give polite screenshots of Pat's comments, but then they just delete their accounts. And then here's the rub. They say this user, whoever this person was, I don't know who that was bullied off of X. I'm accusing somebody of a heinous act. This guy's saying, I need proof. He doesn't get proof. And I assume Joe Lansdale's very frustrated because he's been seeking proof, getting stymied along the way. And now he's like, no, I need your proof. And then this person closes their account. This is not a warrior. This is not somebody who's sticking up for women. This is a whisper in the dark bullshit. You need to prove it. Or shut up and back out if it's not your business. But now Joe Lansdale is a bully. And I could show you how, show you why. Here is somebody. Oh, yes. I should have had that pulled up first. But Christopher Golden, right here. Just to make sure nobody has the wrong idea, Joe Lansdale and his family are some of the best people I've ever known. No decision I've made should ever be construed to suggest otherwise. Joe is a goddamn hero to me, professionally and personally, says Christopher Golden, who is a very liberal person. Extremely. It's not like he's some right-wing, alt-right guy who is just sticking up for the patriarchy and white supremacy. And here's Michelle, and she's only important because Chuck Palahniuk pulled her tweet, and I'm going to get to that too. Okay, but his response was pretty much textbook blame the victim. How is it blaming the victim when he's saying, I need more to go on for my business decision? This person doesn't deal with facts. She is dealing with feelings. And so we're once again back to explaining how someone being great to some people doesn't mean they're great to everyone. He's very much pissed at the wrong people. The problem, Michelle, if I need to explain this to you, is that Joe is looking for proof. He is not looking to blame the victim. He's not looking to say, well, she deserved it because of what she wore. He's saying, I need to know what to do with this guy I'm in business with. And you're doing the turtle, and you're just saying nothing. That's what's so absolutely frustrating to me, because she became relevant to me only because of when Chuck, on Chuck's subreddit, he posted all these people. Christopher Golden, S.A. Cosby, Tanya Pell, Brian Keene. Brian Keene, who, I'm sorry, he has not seen a lynch mob bandwagon he doesn't want to drive. And I don't know how invested he is in any of it, but he seems to be a linchpin, and he'll do these multiple versions tweets where he goes off. And it's like, at this point, I've seen so many of them. And look, I jumped onto the Thomas Monteleone thing, right? All right, take it easy, Christopher. Sorry, you have to go. I know. Jeff got us all to sign up for Demons last week. I think he owes us an anthology now. I would love to do that. I would love to give you an anthology. But I did jump on the Thomas Monteleone thing, and very rightly so. There is evidence of him on a podcast being a complete jagoff to a woman. He could feel how he felt about the politics of this situation, and very legitimately so, talk about the politics of the situation. But when he started to attack that woman, no, you lose my sympathy and support, man. You're making it personal and angry and upsetting and ugly. You're off target. You're off topic. You are now just hateful. You know what I mean? You're not making a point. You're just being hateful. So I'd be all over that. I don't like Thomas Monteleone. I don't want to do business with him. But there was a little more proof of a problem than we're getting here. So I'm 8:30 behind and agree 100%, Jeff. Jerks may not be fun to be around, but if they're not threatening physically, you just avoid them. You don't persecute them. And I will say that jerks in power need to be adjusted. Like, there needs to be an adjustment. Nobody should take abuse. But the thing is, we're not teaching people how to take down abuse. You're teaching people how to be victims and how rewarding it is to be a victim. And how, look, I can get the whole community to come and give me kisses on my boo-boo. No, you need to be a fighter, a warrior, be stronger than the bully. Really take that person down. Hearsay doesn't do it, because you're just creating other problems. Like, if I just watch Dead Headspace, the podcast, because I've seen a few of them, I've seen how he acts. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to have a beer with this guy. He doesn't look like a friend of mine. And that's just an impression on a video, right? I mean, I don't know him. I'm not in the room with him. But had I just watched the Deadhead podcast and somebody's like, man, that guy's a jerk, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it. And I'd go about my day. But now you're actually creating sympathy for me, for him, from me. You're creating sympathy. Because I'm like, dude, This guy's being vilified with no proof. And everybody's like, how dare you ask for proof? You should just believe victims. But maybe he's a victim now. Shouldn't I believe him? Like, shouldn't we believe whoever has the proof or the evidence? And that's not to say you need like black and white. You don't need video evidence. You do need something like a text where he's harassing somebody. If somebody's pursuing somebody to the level of requiring a restraining order, there needs to be something to back it up. That's just, I mean, there needs to be that, because you cannot just destroy people's lives anymore. You can't just do it. And I gotta say, when I first heard this, I'm like, oh man, what did this guy do? And I didn't cancel my support for the Kickstarter, but I was looking. I'm like, dude, did this guy, is he still going to be involved? If this guy's such an animal, is he still going to be involved? Because if he is, and they don't make him step down and all that stuff, I don't think I can support it. If there's like, I mean, come on, it has to be something to get everybody so riled up and all these people dropping out. And then when I saw there was nothing there, I'm like, I'm letting this shit ride. I'll buy another copy. That's how this stuff backfires. And again, personal issues and harassments, and especially of a disgusting nature, and it's hard to make people relive things, then don't drag it out into X or Facebook. Deal with it in the community with the right parties involved. Reach out to Joe Lansdale, say, hey, look, you need to know he's problematic. Here's why, X, Y, Z. I don't know why. Is there a legal reason why they have to announce it on X? I'm no longer with New Demons. Is there a reason other than virtue signaling? Is there another legitimate reason to do that? Is it just self-preservation? Like, I'm just preserving my brand? It's that. I could see that. I stand up to Billy's. I do stand up to Billy's too. I could see why Billy's and bullies are close. It's funny. Hi all, number one, good to see you. If there is a restraining order, then produce the order, not the petition for an order, but the actual order. Orders aren't granted without proof. And I gotta say, it sounds like some restraining orders are hard to get, which is a whole other issue. Like, that's a problem. So anyway, if you've gotten it and you're bold enough to declare it, then turn it over, since you're already trying them in this court. Because here's the other thing. So when you look at this, so Michelle Redatrix, I don't know, posted this. New Demons is a no, this is the one. I've set a notice for a year from now to see if I feel comfortable again reading the authors from the New Demons anthology. Other than I have an arc I need to finish, this is the only way I can now move on and not just stare at this list and sink into despondency. I am sorry that you are that affected by that. Like, if this crushes you, you definitely need a support network, because you are crushed by this. This destroys you. And she is saying about the other authors who may not have known. They're like, Joe Lansdale said, you want to be in an anthology? Oh yeah, hells yeah, I'll do it. This sounds like fun. We're really ambitious. We already got Joe Hill, Owen King, Josh Mallerman, Christopher Gold. We got all these people. Brian Keene's involved. Oh, hell yeah, I'm on. And then not having any idea, because if you look at the Deadhead podcast, there are a ton of authors. If you go to their page and their videos, you're like, wow, he's getting a lot of really good people on there. He's gotten more than the Jeff Word does, for sure. And so you're impressed. You're like, this is awesome. I will be on it. And then she is now saying, this is how the deal works. We do a whisper campaign. We blacklist somebody. We won't offer proof. And if you dare question it, we will come after you too. And if you're even blindly acknowledging or associated, not knowing anything, if you're not even involved with the harassment, man, I'm going to have to give you a year. So when she posted that, I'm like, wow, who is this? I'm literally no one other than a reader, but reading is my safe space, and I have to maintain that. I do care what I read and what they stand for. I know I'm just kicking the can down the road, but I'm just not ready to officially say goodbye to authors who've meant a lot to me. Maybe on this date in 2025. Maybe I'll find new authors in the meanwhile. The books are now attacking you because of something Patrick McDonough did behind closed doors somewhere that we don't even know. Now the books are attacking you, literally. You can't safely go into a book. I remember once in college, I had to read some essay and then have to give a talk about the essay. So I didn't realize I was doing something that was horrible, right? This was 2004, 2003. And I went in and I read this piece and I thought it was a great piece. I seriously can't even remember what the piece was. I don't even remember what the author was. Because when it came time for me to get up in front of this English class and present my thoughts on this paper, on this essay, I was shocked. I was like bitch slapped. Because when I got the assignment and I read the thing, I did some research on the author, and the guy was an avowed communist. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense why he wrote what he wrote. He's got an agenda, and he's got a point of view, which could be an agenda, which could be propaganda. I mean, that's a slippery slope. A point of view isn't a problem, even if you're just some ideologue, you have a point of view. But when you start to make the case with misinformation or outright lies, now you're getting into agenda and then finally into propaganda. So anyway, this guy wrote a piece, and he was an avowed communist, and he was like trying to be canceled for being a communist. So I thought his biographical information was pertinent. And I got up in front of the class. I'm like, all right, so-and-so, I read his piece. It was a really thoughtful piece. I really liked the points he's making. And did you know he was an avowed communist? And they cut me off right there. Whoa. The teacher, who is a friend of mine, I like the guy, came up. He's like, no, stop right there. I'm like, what? And the shocked faces of my classmates. And I got to say, I was in college as an adult. I went to college at 30. I mean, they're all adults in theory when they're in college. So I went as a continuing, I was going back to school after like 12 years of being out of high school. So all kinds of shit had happened in those 12 years to the students and education. The shocked O's, I looked around the room, they're like he's talking about, not that the guy was a communist or anything like that. They were like, he's talking about the author. You don't do that. I'm like, what? We don't talk about the author. We talk about the work. In isolation, we talk about the work. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I did some research. I was trying to get an understanding of the motives behind the piece and perhaps like his greater point. No. You just had to talk about the words on the page. I thought that was super odd. I was like, oh, okay, I still got an A in the class, in case you guys were wondering. Beef Daddy graduated magna cum laude. That means with highest honors. And I can't even say honors. And I'm only drinking a Coke. It's a Coke. Anyway, now here we are, full circle. And we need to know what these authors stand for before we read them. I thought that was taboo. Now if the author has an opinion different from yours, the book hurts you. I can read books by authors with rabidly different points of view than mine and enjoy them. I can. I have. I will continue to do so because I love the art of the writing, of the storytelling, of the immersion. Books are my safe space too, if we have to get apples to apples on this. And I can love the story and not give a damn about what the author thinks. I just thought if you're doing a article on an article, a deeper dive, that you have to look into it. That's the only reason I investigated who the author was. Because right now, I really don't care. I honestly don't care what Thomas Oldehovelt's politics are, or Tyler Jones's, or Josh Mallerman's, or Joe Lansdale's, or Stephen King. I don't care. I want the story. If you can't deliver the story in a nice way or a compelling way, then you could, then I move on. But she needs to know, and she's given all these authors a year from now. And who is she that her opinion was elevated and made it to my eyeballs? Literally no one other than a reader. This is how powerful and what a weapon this can be. If it's unchecked. I don't want to say regulated, because when you say regulated, now you're getting somebody else to determine what facts are. I'm saying unchecked, in that these people can wield this power and say these things about somebody who has no recourse. The guy can only say, can he prove he doesn't have a restraining order? If there is no restraining order against him, he has no piece of paper to show. What's he going to do? Get a letter from the cops? The FBI saying, I did a background check. This guy doesn't have any restraining order against him. How does he prove something that didn't happen? You can't. So he will stay guilty. He will be vilified. And as you saw in my newsletter, I ended it on this. Boom. That's it. Gone. It doesn't exist. He's over. The New Demons is canceled. And that's all that's left in its wake. Just destruction. Oh, guys, go do some work stuff. Okay. But reading is her safe space. And again, I'm not mocking anybody who is a reader. We are all readers. You guys are all my people. And if anybody was coming after any one of you, I'd want to know. Like, if I let's say, hey, guys, guess what? Here's the news. I'm going to have Francois Vaillancourt on the channel. He's going to do an interview with me, and I'm going to post it on the channel. The guy's amazing. And he's going to teach me how to say his name. So we're going to have him on. And if somebody's like, hey, dude, this guy harassed me. And I don't even want to say a what if about a particular name. But let's just say I was going to interview somebody. Or I had interviewed some past interview. And people are like, that guy's the monster. He did this, and this. And I can show you the proof. Yeah, I would take the video down. I would cancel the interview. I would let everybody know, look, I don't want to be associated with this. This guy straight up murdered 80 people. And I can't condone that. There's no defense. And I will be not promoting any of that person's books or work going forward. Sure, there's a totally legitimate reason, but you just can't do it because I said so. I said so. His crime was creeping people out. I creep people out. I make things awkward. I make things uncomfortable. Not always intentionally, but I think calling Richard Chismar Dick Chiz is triggering. Calling myself Beef Daddy is kind of creepy. These are all things you can ladder up to crimes against social media. And so I'm just saying, bring the proof or shut the up. Because I think the thing is, you just can't feed these monsters anymore. You have to say, like, take them serious at first. Like, somebody comes forward with an allegation, yeah, take them totally serious. Like, oh, that's awful. What happened? Like, if I was talking to Philip Fracassi in a text message or whatever, and he's like, Jeff, this just happened. Somebody did this. I'd be like, wow, like, really? What, I would take the person seriously and wonder, well, what did they say? Or I dig a little. People are so soft today. They are soft. They are. Let's see. What did I miss? it's a public record that can be Freedom of Information Act. I would think so. I would think so. I don't know how those things work because it's like, I don't know. I'm not a legal guy, you know. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy with a Coke, you know, just a guy with a Coke and a flannel and a microphone that wasn't even plugged in at the beginning. So, yeah, I mean, you can look into this. You can find out. A ton of those authors were on his podcast, too. I know. Twitter announcements are absolutely virtue signaling. They are. They're empty. They're empty things. They are. And people have just been way too polite, way too accommodating. Like, and I got to say, it's because we're good. The good people accommodate. Good people don't like to see people in pain. I never thought I'd be in a position where this stuff would be pissing me off. Like, I was like Brian Keene. Who did what? Let's ride out. Let's bring this bastard to justice. But so many times I have seen when the details come out, when all the facts are known, and the mob has since moved on. So, like, by the time everybody knows what the real situation was, the mob is already off feeding on someone else. And the person is left there holding up all the proof. See, I told you. And nobody's there to listen. Because, yeah, that was, okay. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, whatever, Patrick. Well, yeah, but that guy's just been stripped bare to nothing. And the more that person fights, the more of a bully they are. And if people stick up for that guy, they become a bully. See, the thing that gets to me is when I see the tweets that say, see, this is why people don't come forward with allegations, because people start going after the victims. That's how they turn it and twist it. Nobody's going after a victim of anything horrible. Nobody. I would never stick up for him if there was lockdown proof. And it has to be something that rises to the level of, okay, either if the guy's just creepy or awkward, how many people do you know are creepy or awkward and just say the wrong thing at the wrong, like, I mean, and yeah, he can be a jerk, but again, it has to rise to the level of chasing someone down and making them subjected to your opinion or your desires or your ridicule. Like, to harass somebody has to rise to, it has to be more than an offhanded comment that made somebody go, ugh. It has to. Because, like, otherwise, you know, that's the slippery slope with microaggression. Because here's the thing with a microaggression. The person who does the microaggression is never aware that they do the microaggression, because it's just something that's on that person's mind, can only be interpreted by that person, and they're the only one perceiving it. So they are upset at some behavior that the person doing it didn't even realize they were doing that was offensive. And then the other person is interpreting what that other person meant. So they're offended by what they're interpreting that other person to have said and felt. You don't know what that, you're not in their head. It's a microaggression. They were being mean. Maybe they had no idea what they said was an offensive term. Or I remember Obama said gypped. He goes, they go in and they're gypped. And everybody came for him softly, very softly. No, we are not. We are just going to educate Barack. And we're going to tell him that gypped means gypsy. And it's a slander against the Roma people who are always vilified in Eastern Europe as thieves and scallywags and whatever. I probably just said a term that was offensive. Scallywag. I don't know. But he used the word, and I'm like, oh my God, can you give the guy a break? Like, I would have said that word. Now I know that word is offensive. I only use it here for educational context. But holy shit! It's gotten to a point where you have to, either people have got to stop interacting and communicating, or people have to grow the fuck up. That's the choice. We're either done, or Half the population has to grow up and deal with things like adults. I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard. It's no fun. We're training this puppy. So now we have sleepless nights training a dog. It is hard. These are adult things you have to do. What have I missed? Patty left. Patty left the call. Mitch left the call. I'll catch it on the rewatch. See y'all. I'm seeing Stephen Graham Jones tonight. Tell him I said hi. I heard a nice thing about Stephen Graham Jones in the context of this drama, where he's just a class act and he stays out of it. And that's why I said S.A. Cosby's post in that thing was the best. He's like, look, I don't know what's going on. I've heard some things. I'm stepping out of the anthology, but I make no judgment. Hope everything goes successfully for those who remain involved. Whatever. He's just like, I'm out. I don't blame him, because it's like, you are now going to, like, it's hard being an author. You think you just can be making Stephen King money tomorrow? No, you can't. You can't. You cannot. Paul Tremblay once shared, they're like, what? He's like, why am I still a full-time teacher? Because his most successful book got him $75,000. That's a lot of money. For if something he did, something he loved to do, got him $75,000, that's fantastic. Good on him, turning a passion into a profession. But that's not live on it the rest of your life money. I'm sure Knock on the Cabin from M. Night Shyamalan brought in some free money. I mean, because the book's already written. They opted it. Now he gets royalties as a writer. Boom. Good money. So, yes, he's going to hit his stride. But if you're a starting author, like S.A. Cosby is somebody I still have got to read. I think he's more crime than horror. But I want to read him. And to be associated with something that everybody's, now the mobs come for, you're just like, look, I can't afford this. I cannot. So I don't personally blame any author for bowing out. But I do blame them for bowing out like there's some goddamn champion. Like you're some hero. Do the women need you to save them? Is that the narrative you want to go forward with? They needed you, Gabino? Glenn Danzig of horror? With his tough guy. Oh my God. Every professional photo I've seen of Gabino Iglesias is him hugging someone with his arms. He's like, I'm hugging my keyboard. I'm hugging my book. I'm hugging something. And it could be the photographer like, get them guns in the show. We need them guns. But every time I see him, I think, mother. And I like Glenn Danzig, so. But oh my God, all these saviors coming out to save women. When you're not. And you're actually you're making them more infantile by making it seem like it's about you, hero. Oh, it just pisses me off. It really does. I didn't know how long I would go on this, or even if I would really continue too long. If you haven't come across weird on social media one time or another, you're doing it wrong. I know. That's what I'm saying. There's so many, again, when I got up in front of the class and I said, this guy was a communist, and they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I swear to God, I thought I was going to get tackled off of the front of the class. They were horrified. And a few of them were rolling their eyes like, yeah, look at crusty old man up there going on about communists. I am somebody who has a permanent foot and mouth disease. I am always, I like, seriously, I've popped a fuse a long time ago doing this channel and presenting work to clients. I got to a point where I either had to give up or just pop that fuse and continue on knowing I'm going to make mistakes and feel stupid about them later. But I couldn't give up. So I always put my foot in my mouth, and I always make mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes. People are human. People do make mistakes. That's what I said. There's a difference between a bad guy and a guy who's having a bad day. There's a difference. But we've gotten this narrative, man, where we are free and happy to vilify a certain group of people without fail, without redemption. And here's the thing. I heard Patrick McDonough had words with Sadie and called her a bitch. That is out of line. That's wrong. That's ugly. That's between him and Sadie. And I heard Sadie forgave him and actually ended up going on the podcast later on, which had to be awkward. And I hope it was sincere, the apology, and they made amends. And there were words that he had with people back in the day, and they've made amends. So how long is somebody guilty? Don't people want to let people out of jail? Aren't people gung-ho about letting people out of jail because it's not about punishment, it's about rehabilitation? Isn't that the theory? So how long is his career and is his name going to be stained with these past sins? And if they are in the past and he has made amends, why drudge him up every single time? You can't go on. So we have to either get past this and agree that some people can make mistakes, and then some people are just animals. Some people are just degenerate human beings who are bullies and use their power to prey on the weaker. Yeah, and those people need to be taken down. Sure. But it's got to take more than a whisper to knock down a tree. You need a tornado amount of proof. Or something as irrefutable as a tornado. It could just be one piece of proof. Here, he sent me a picture of whatever he has to show that I didn't ask for. And when I called him on it, he sent me this. And he told me I should be worried about going out alone. Okay, here we go. We got a case now. We got a case. You got anybody you can send over there to straighten a guy out? Like, because that's where my brain goes. If somebody does something like that, I hate bullies. Oh, I hate them. But you know what? The victims have now become the bullies. The victims. And I use the term with air quotes because you're not a victim until you are a victim. And you're making it worse for real victims. So the issue is bigger than Patrick McDonough and Joe Lansdale and Michelle Redatrix. It is bigger. It's a social issue. I'm heartened to hear people agree that this is not cool. Is he on par with Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein persisted even though people knew what a degenerate he was. And I will say, they condoned it and they circled wagons. And that is not cool. He was abusing his power to get, like, women should, again, I would think in that situation, he's out of line. They call him on it, but they're worried about their careers and they're not established yet. So they can't come forward with it because they're like, you know what? This guy can ruin my career. I rejected his advances, but now I'm not getting roles. I think that's how bullies gain traction. So you need something. You need allegations. You need the witness to come forward, state their case, and bring down these people, for sure. Many years back, I said hair lip, and someone practically stoned me. I didn't even think about that being negative. It's what I grew up with. I won't do it again, but glad I didn't lose my job. Well, I'm glad you're still here, Patty. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. It's one you could make, but M. Night wrecked that movie. I heard. I saw it. I did see it, and I heard a lot of people. So I didn't realize hair lip was bad. Oh, is it because it's like a rabbit? Hair? Like, I never even thought of that. So you're comparing their face. It's a cleft palate, right? Right? Oh, man, I don't even know. See, again, like I could have used that term in all seriousness, in all. I mean, there was a time where the R word. See, I can't even say it now because I really don't want to hurt anybody, But there was a time that was a totally acceptable term to use. Like, yeah, the person has Down syndrome. They are that word, the R word. And it was like, yeah, it's not being mean. It's now that's offensive. So hair lip. Here I am saying again. I think the context in which something is written can be important to fully understand it. Yes, context matters for sure. Yeah, some people are bitches or act like one at some point in their life. We all suck. We all do. We all suck sometimes. We all have bad days. Hannah Montana said that. Everyone has those days, right? We all do some bad stuff. Cancel culture also doesn't allow people to grow and change. Right. I remember, you ever see that movie Leap of Faith with Steve Martin? And he was a revival tent preacher. And he was getting everybody to fall in line. He was like a big con man. He was like conning people and selling God and faith and Jesus to people who wanted to believe in hope, and very desperate town. And then it came out that he was a con man and he was swindling people out all this money. And he gave a speech. Now, I don't really remember the movie. I don't remember if he really was a bad guy in it or if this was his perpetuating a con. But he made a good point. He's like, who best to lead people out of sin than a sinner? Like somebody who's done the bad thing, learned from their mistake, and is now saying, like, there is hope. You can turn yourself around. You don't have to be an alcoholic, an angry, violent person for the rest of your life. You can change. What better person to preach that message than somebody who had actually gone through that transformation? But if you completely vilify somebody for time and eternity over something they did in a weak moment, well, then we're done. We're fucking done. Just everybody throw their phones into the ocean because we are done. Cleft lip. Palate is in the mouth. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. You can't say Hannah Montana anymore. You have to say Miley Cyrus. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Is it offensive if I call her dad Billy Ray Virus? Because I did. I did back in the day. Oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon me. I have a Coke once in a while, and it gives me the gases. I think one of the worst takes on this whole thing was this Alex. It's not my job to inform or debate other people and whether they have seen enough to make a decision. It's my right to decide for myself, and I can say I personally have vehemently do not support the New Demons anthology, the people leading it, or their endeavors. What a declaration, Alex. Thank God. Because it's not their job to inform. Guess what you just tried to do, dumbass? Your tweet is information. I'm sorry if I'm getting canceled for coming after this person who... It's like me standing up on a street corner or outside a Walmart somewhere with a megaphone going, it's not my job to inform you that I'm standing here screaming about something bad that happened. A dumbass. Why did you get up to the keyboard, put on X, and type this stuff if it's not your job? Guess what? You're fired. You no longer have that job because you failed at it. Go home. Hey, you know what? Take the rest of your life off from your non-job of not informing people of the information you don't want to share. Thank God you're here to clear the air. But you will say, I will inform you that I am not going to support this anthology or the people leading it or their endeavors. So you're not, oh my God. I've seen the responses of the people in charge when presented with complaints. I'm horrified and heartbroken and frankly scared of them. You are scared of them because words on your screen scare you. I don't think you should read Matt Shaw horror books or Judith Sonnet or any extreme horror. If words are scary to you, if ideas are scary to you, please unsubscribe from everything. Go into a dark cave with a binky and a blanket because you are a baby. When they're presented with the complaints, so you have complaint. All right. How about proof? Oh my God, now I'm afraid of you. I will not engage this discussion. Well, you are, dumbass. I do not owe anyone involved a single thing. I will not be providing proof or debating anything. You are putting yourself in the center. If you are somebody who has a problem with him and you don't want to save other women from predatory behavior and you have proof, then you're not good there. But you don't have to put yourself out there. Were you dragged out there? Now, if she was dragged out there, I would say that's unfortunate. And you are a victim by being dragged out there. But it doesn't appear that way. As people are being threatened with lawsuits, let me be very clear. Oh, so now guess what just came into the picture? Consequences. Oh, no, not consequences for the guy you're accusing, consequences for you. Now shit gets real. As people are being threatened with lawsuits, let me be very clear. I am not telling anyone else what to believe. Oh, but you are. Some of the people in charge we used to be civil with, I will not be continuing with that delusion. And then here's somebody consoling them. Was really fun getting threatened with a lawsuit because I believe in being transparent instead of vague tweeting. Oh my God! I think you just ripped a hole in the social media and created an ironic black hole that is going to suck in all logic. You were being transparent? You weren't vague tweeting? Everybody is literally begging for proof. Or you're going to get hit with slander. If you've given proof, then that's transparent. But you are just... Whatever. I think I've given this... I think I've made my point, I think. It's really infuriating. It's rantastic. Mullet head. Back in the day, it wasn't Ray. No, it wasn't. Jeff, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Oh my God, dude. I found one that outdoes the groomer, the found bag of doom. She actually pulled it for a few months because she got threats over it. Oh man, I can't even. Mike, you might need to take a break from this stuff, man, because you're going into the hard stuff. You're going into extreme horror, and I don't know if you can make it out. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to have an exit. You need something that pulls you back to civilization, Mike. Because if it outdoes groomer, and I heard what the groomer involves, I can't. And that's the other thing that strikes me as so, oh my God, so ironic with all this. These are words. These are things that people are writing and saying. And the horror community reads the most vile things, and gleefully so. They're always on books of horror talking about the next trophy read and how they endured some really barbaric passages and how they couldn't put it down. It was so vile. And then somebody said something mean to somebody else. I'm done. I need to crawl into a corner and put all these authors on ice for a year. And if they're lucky, the entitlement of these people is astounding. If they're lucky, I'll read them again. If they're lucky. I'm just tired of all this. Then shut the drama off and and get back to your safe space. Retreat. Or stick up for women. Like, those are your choices. Chiz picks, or it never happened. See, I didn't want to say that other thing. My foreign friends and Mike. Stephen Dwayne Elson Jr. said, this live is either going to be very lonely or very international. And I was putting it at 2 p.m. because of our friends across the pond. Those limey bastards who we fought because we had taxation without represent. Wait a second. Those people I wanted to have a crack at a show. Have a crack at it. I'm not saying crack addict. Wow. Oh, it was nasty for sure. Now I'm reading Mallerman's new one. Oh my God. I'm so mad. Somebody had an arc of incidents around the house. They sold it on eBay for $8. I want that book, and I want Oracle by Thomas Oldehuvelt. Thomas Oldehuvelt told me Tor is going to send me an arc of Oracle. And they never did. And I wrote to him. I'm like, I never got it, but I'd like to have you on the channel. He's like, they never sent it to you? Want me to reach out? I'm like, seriously. At this point, isn't the book published? I got to get it. I got to read it. And I want to have him on the channel. So, it burns me when I see an $8 arc, a completed sale of incidents around the house. And I'm dying to read that book. I like this time for the live Mondays. Come 9 p.m. I'm beat, but that's just me. I would love this to be an every week thing. Oh, wow. Well, I did think about doing extra lives. I did consider that. But, you know, I might. Yeah, Mallerman arc. So, yeah, I think it was, if you go to completed listings. Okay, one sold for $30, one sold for $15. Okay, look at that. This one sold for $127, an arc of Pearl. 8 bids. Like, how is that even possible? How did this sell? There are no other images. Is it signed? Advanced reading copy of the trade edition of On This Day of the Pig. It doesn't say signed. It doesn't say what is special about it. And it got 8 bids. I'm thinking, oh my God, MK Burger only has 7 sales, and this is one of them. This is how a rabbit hole gets. This is how you go down a rabbit hole. Because I don't understand that at all. 8 bids. Are they all friends and family of this seller? Because that's nuts. How can that even be? But anyway. So, yeah, $15. Buy it now. I can't tell you how mad that makes me. I mean, I can. And I probably will do a good job because I'm always mad. Can you imagine if the founding fathers had social media? We would not have a society today because by now it would be all over. $8. Yeah. I 3 a.m. in Australia, early morning, but I'm not at work. Oh my God. Is it really 3 a.m. there? Gee. Oh, so you're 12 hours. Damn. I, for one, think this is an ungodly hour for a live video. Hello, Hans. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, see, I imagine civilization would be over by now if that were the case. Yeah, it would. I read it on NetGalley. I know, I just can't do the E thing, you know? A person who sells an arc didn't value it and doesn't deserve it. No, I agree. I stepped in it. Here's what I will say. I think arcs should go to super fans of that author or that title. I agree. If you have an arc and you don't love the book, you should sell it. Forgot about this. I wasn't even busy at work at 2. Oh my God, we're gonna have you could have a replay. So what civilization? I thought we wrapped that up about, oh my God. We wrapped that up. It's been crazy. We wrapped it up kind of in 2020. I prefer this time too for the live. Really? Oh my God. What if I actually get real gigs and I can't make this time? Okay, I buy and sell ARCs all the time. I know. That's what I was thinking when I said it. When did MySpace start? 2004? That was the beginning of the end. Yeah, it kind of was. I got 2 more ARCs from Fracassi yesterday. Yeah, no one is safe. And Child Alone with Strangers. Levidian ARC, because you are a Sabbath resident. You're like, I'm moving in. I'm going right into the penthouse. Amen. I never used MySpace. Never been huge for social media. No, I haven't either, man. That's why I'm having a hard time with this Discord thing. I got to do the Discord thing. It's hard. It is really hard. Oh, I got this cool thing in the mail. I don't know if you saw it. Hellraiser Bloodlines screenplay. I got it because Peter Atkins he wrote the introduction to the 25th anniversary edition of Hellbound Heart from Earthling. And I don't have his signature in that book. I have Ashley Lawrence's, Clive Barker's, and then all 4 Cenobites. But I don't have his. He's the only one involved with that book that I don't have. So when Encyclopocalypse posted on social media, like, hey, we got a couple paperbacks in the warehouse of signed Bloodlines screenplay by Peter Atkins, I thought, wow, I get to actually have his signature right next to my my Hellbound Heart. So it was cheap. It's a paperback. But they sent these goodies, little sticker and a Bill and Ted collectible trading card. Bill and Ted. Excellent. Bill and Ted, the inspiration behind Wayne's World. So that was cool. I was glad to get that. But the fun thing is, I'm going to watch the movie. I'm going to read the screenplay, and then I'm going to watch the movie. Because the movie was a train wreck. And I guess there's some author, some Alan Smithy. If you ever see a movie was directed by Alan Smithy, that is an industry, Hollywood industry, movie-making industry stand-in for a movie that nobody wants to get credit for directing because it's been such a production train wreck that nobody wants their name attached to it. So they put this Alan Smithy's name in there. So if you watch the movie, it's kind of a confusing mess. But if you read the screenplay, you get to see what was intended. I gotta say, I thumbed through it and I read some of the dialogue. It is hackneyed dialogue. In the one passage I read, I'm like, wow, this is better than the movie. I don't even remember the movie. I have a few ARCs, but I've never been into them. I think most of them were from CD grab bags. I know, yeah. Who all ordered Find the Torch? Might have missed it if you talked about it earlier. I didn't talk about it earlier. I was going to talk about it. Find the Torch is where are we at? Find the Torch. Yes. I passed on it. I didn't want to, but here it is. Find the Torch. You can find it. It's right there. You could see it good on the screen. But originally offered as a free softcover chapbook for those who bought Tyler Jones's limited edition books, Midas and Burn the Plans. Earthling and Thunderstorm produced a very small run of signed limited hardcovers. So there's only 75 of them. They're signed by Tyler Jones, Michael Marshall Smith, and Josh Malerman. 3 stories in the chapbook. 75 copies only for $100. And they're split between Thunderstorm and Earthling customers. So I think it went out in a blink at Thunderstorm. So I'm dying to see what these look like. Again, I sat it out because just didn't have $100. I love me some Josh Malerman. Love me some Tyler Jones. I don't think I've read any Michael Marshall Smith. So this it was a newsletter only deal. So boom, came and went. I guarantee they're gone. The only way you can get it is if you email. I had to email Paul Miller back. So, and if you ordered Midas and Burn the Plans, the pack, you get first dibs. So it's probably already gone. I'm not bragging here, but I have over 100 arcs for Stephen King books in my collection because I buy and sell arcs. He's leaning into it. Today I learned, oh, I'm sorry, RA. I passed on that too. Too many other books and stuff to buy. Yes. Food too. Can't wait for Tyler to get more Heavy Oceans. Yeah, I should get that on hardcover. I would love. I mean, I've just been really, really, really icy in my buying freeze, and it's very rare where I'll step beyond that. MMS is good. He has best of book from Subpress was fantastic. Michael Marshall Smith. Yeah, I should. I bet you I read a short story from him somewhere. I don't know where, but I bet you I did. I think I did. Really hope Levidian will not be publishing the Billy Chismar debut. I am as well. Yeah, Richard Chismar was on that Dead Headspace podcast, and he, my God, and he was talking about the Kevin Lucia being on the trade paperback line, and it was 5 months ago, I guess. And he was talking about Kevin, like, Kevin's a little ambitious. I keep having to rein him in. And knowing that how it ends, where he grabs him out, is hilarious. It really was. Yeah, they are gone. Yeah, I emailed Paul Miller late and was told it was sold out. Yeah, I figured it would be gone. Thunderstorm still has Heavy Oceans. Yeah, not the trade hardcover, though. Pretty much on a buying freeze myself. Hate to hear it, Aaron, but I totally get it. Jeff, buddy, you have 445 unread emails. I know I do. I know. Which is nothing compared to producer Jill. What she does is she has email accounts, then they get filled, and then she just creates a new email account. So she has like 400 million unread emails. You do. I keep saying I'm on a buying freeze, but then I keep buying. I can't be my fault, so who can I blame? You can blame the Jeff word. In fact, I'm going to have a little goodie for people who subscribe at the membership, a little thing that you could use to justify your purchases. Hey, Joshua, good to see you, Joshua, by the way. Don't think you got by me, Joshua. I see all the small T's. Good to see you. If Levidian plans on releasing the Chiz Jr. book, I hope they have open shelf space. Again, I'm leaving a little room. Maybe it is the best book ever written. Leaving a little room. Maybe. Let's just, you know what? Maybe. Don't convict the son for the sins of the father. Mr. Purple was awful. Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. And I got to say, he's got a theme going. Mr. Purple and Mr. Bones. Those are two short stories he wrote that I've read. I've traumatized myself with. They're both bad, so there's no good value. Can he write? Yeah, he can write in the sense that he can convey an idea. He's coherent. He follows grammar. He constructs a story, but the story has no value. Producer Jill is a genius. RA said that. She says thank you. Let's see. I won't be buying the Chiz book from Levidian, that's for sure. If Josh Mallerman was correct about it, I might buy the ebook. But I gotta wonder what Mallerman was smoking. Mallerman and Richard Chismar have the same agent. So if that might be a clue. They're all cease and desist notifications. Only 440 of them are. Lavidian needs to keep publishing good authors. Yeah, they do. And I'll forgive him if he's going to do, like I said, maybe Brian James Freeman is like thinking of the long game, knows Billy Chismar is the real deal. And if he publishes them now, he's on the ground floor, and what a great place to be. And this guy's going to be the next Stephen King. Highly unlikely, but Jill sounds like my wife. The last time I looked at her phone, she had over 3,000 unread emails. No joke. Yeah, no, Jill dwarfs that. Oh my God, Patty, I have 22,187 emails in my inbox. I've read some of them. Jill is your fan, Patty. RA, I have 1,169 unread emails in Workbox. I gave up on trying to keep up. This is why social media and this whole thing is just a mental health eraser. And that's the other thing. So these people, again, getting back to the earlier thing, I'm just going to dip back into it for a minute. The people who are traumatized by these words have been so softened that they can be, like they've grown into this tenderness, and they are not good. It's not good for them either. If you are traumatized because somebody said ugly things to somebody else, yeah, there are ugly things. There are ugly things that happen all the time. You have to get over it. You have to overcome it. You have to beat it back. You have to be stronger than it. You have to be a stronger person. That's what I'm advocating for. Be a stronger person. Don't just curl up into a corner. But they're not healthy either. They're not happy. They're not doing well. So none of this serves anyone. I am Jill's fan too. You got fans, Jill. Sounds like you got to appear. Chiz Jr. sounds a little repressed. Oh, he's got issues, man. Oh, crap. That's right. Isn't it? The shakedown start next week. Really? What? Oh, yeah. Yep. Chiz writes extreme hoarder because he's horrifying. Huzzah, producer Jill. You're getting huzzahs. David Mulligan, 17,207 emails in my Gmail account. We are all proud of you. We're going to start a group, maybe in the memberships, email inbox hoarders. Because the 445, those are only the emails I haven't read. I don't know how many emails are in my inbox, but I only haven't read 445. We're all very proud of you, David. Just so everyone is aware, unread emails make your carbon footprint bigger. It's going to kill the polar bears by having unread emails. I'm getting a call from Scam Likely. I better jump on that. I read or delete my emails every day. I've never deleted anything. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I knew a guy that I used to work with. He was a graphic designer, and we would partner on things. And I would email him stuff. So I'd email him some, he would do the thing, and then he'd delete all the emails. So he never had any emails in his inbox. And then one time I'm like, hey, all right, well, we got to go back to that one thing I sent you. He's like, I have no record of it. I don't. And it was a file that I no longer had. So it was gone because he just couldn't. I need my emails so I can go back and find stuff. As do I, honestly. How do all of you stay employed? Well, some of us is... I deleted everything in my main account, my Verizon one. Oh, Aaron. Wow, just checked. I have exactly 666 emails. So now what I would do if I were you is just constantly maintain that number. My work emails vaporize after 6 months. Sounds like you're in a legal profession. I don't know how to check to see how many are read or unread. I suck at Outlook. My wife had close to 100,000 emails in her work account. Wow. That's the wives are winning with Jill. winning. So, what else did I have to talk about? I believe I covered it all. Oh yeah, and Francois. Gonna have Francois on the channel. Unless he saw this today and he said, I don't want to be associated with this guy that the mob is gonna come for. Because it's gonna be, look, another white guy's mad that we're coming after a white guy. And I'm gonna get canceled. But what? I'll be like Rocky. Remember Rocky 5? When that one guy's like, hit me, and I'll sue. And then Rocky hits him. And he looks at him and goes, sue me for what? Seriously. Oh, good stuff, people. Midworld. I had a Midworld thing. I don't know if Midworld has really nothing to share. Find the torch. Oh, I don't know if you're interested, but this looked. I don't know if we have Clay McLeod Chapman fans out there, but we got a Kill Your Darling cover reveal. Boom. Below, check out the stunning cover artwork by artists, not arsonist, Francois. Kill Your Darling. So, Bad Hand Books has Kill Your Darling. If we have Clay McLeod Chapman fans out there, I'm just bringing it to your attention. I know Ghost Eaters and What Kind of Mother were talked about. I've never read them. I have no opinion on the guy. Perhaps he harassed somebody. I don't know. But he's got a book. I'm sure Bad Hand would cancel him immediately if he was a bad actor. And then they're trying to get everybody to buy Cranberry Cove by Haley Piper. I thought Haley Piper was a book reviewer. Am I misremembering that? Huh, that's interesting. No, that is not a movie poster for Jaws. That's the record. That's the album, the Jaws album, the vinyl, if that's what you're talking about. Work calls. Take it easy, RA. Too Expensive Joe Hill books and Subpress's site. People were going after that. Are we drinking? Oh, just a Coke. Yeah, people were going after the Joe Hill one. Late returns. $150 and $1,500 for whatever. I don't know. I just, it's not my thing. Undertow is doing the Weird Horror magazine. He's whining about it some more. He's thanking everybody, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know why I put that there. Oh, uh-oh. And then Midworld, we have The Atlas of Hell is shipping and The Girl with All the Gifts. What did they do to the cover? Did they make her eyes bluer? Is that different? Am I just tripping? Wait a second. The Girl with All the... Okay, now we stumbled onto something. The Girl with All the Gifts. These books are running a little behind through no fault of the printer. We spent more time on the layout, etc., of this one than anticipated, and the printer has done their best to complete these in a timely manner without compromising quality. What were you doing to it? I just don't remember the cover looking like that. Because remember, he called everybody a racist for not wanting the cover to reflect the girl in the movie and wanting the cover to reflect the girl in the book. It's a very simple thing. And he had to ladder it up to come after everybody. And that was annoying. I wasn't going to rehash it, but now it looks like that feels like doubling down. I don't know. That's funny. And then the black. I seriously was including this just to bring everybody's attention to things you may be interested in. Midworld. I never read that book. People love it. You might want it. I was actually waiting for when Travis does This Book is Full of Spiders. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. I collect the SSTs. What are you talking about? I see Stephen Graham Jones has the last book in the Indian Lake trilogy coming out. Did SST publish it? If so, I don't think he published it yet. No, yeah. I wish another half hour and I'll be drunk. They're going to. Not sure if it's announced yet. Yeah, I know. SST had that awesome starter pack. I know. Limited stock at Conversation Tree. Are you talking about Fawn? I don't know. I think I don't subscribe to. I don't think I subscribe to their email anymore. But so I don't know what you're getting at, what's limited stock. So maybe they announced something, but just not into it, I'm just not into news. Yeah. I'm not here for Treasure Island or Peter Pan. But I will say that Peter Pan came out. It looked gorgeous. So I'm not sure what the limited stock is. The spice must flow. Dune. They were trying to get the perfect blue for the eyes. Oh, I get it. The spice must flow. I guess they were. It looked like it. Bedmakers from Thunderstorm is shipping. Should have mine. Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. I didn't realize that Eli John was the owner-publisher of Nepenthe. No, I know. I didn't know he was the owner, but I knew he was involved. I just took a look at Conversation Tree Press, and I see they're publishing Foundation Trilogy. Yeah. Conversation Tree is for rich collectors. They are. And like I said, when they first came out, I felt like they were leaning into luxury more than books. Like they were more about the luxury than about the story. That was the impression I got. Whereas I think Paul Suntop genuinely loves the stories. Just my opinion, man. Yeah. Scratching your beard is a good look on a Tuesday. What? Tuesday afternoon? Is it Tuesday? See you next Tuesday. So I don't know. I might do these lives here and there on a Tuesday just to 17 Fawn Deluxe. Okay. Maybe I'll do these more. I don't know. It was fun. But I'm gonna get cutting and let my rant stand for my appeal for people to deal with problems like adults and not rant about it on YouTube. What am I doing? See, I'm part of the problem, man. I'm feeding the tornado winds of rage, and they just keep spinning and they just destroy everything. So, anyway, if I'm outraged about something, that's legitimate. Jeff rants are the bomb. Bomb diggity. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who decided to swing by and do this today, outside the norm, and maybe we'll do it again. So I'm gonna get cutting, and I will probably be back on April Fool's Day next Monday with the Patreon live and launched and ready for your eyes, and some other things maybe. But we're just gonna get this going, and it's like I said, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun summer. So I'm glad you're here and you joined me, and you're great people. Stay frosty.